What if I told you that some of the vegetables you've been eating for decades, the ones that seem healthy, might actually be aging your body from the inside out? That innocent bowl of corn chowder, the buttery baked potato, even that cozy eggplant lasagna, they could be quietly spiking your blood sugar, triggering joint pain, or throwing your hormones out of balance, and you'd never know until it's too late. In today's countdown, we reveal the top 4 vegetables seniors should avoid after 60. Not because they're bad, but because your body changes with age. And these foods don't always play nice anymore. Some of them are sitting in your freezer right now. One of them is likely in your pantry. And the number 1 worst offender? It's acidic, canned, and masquerading as heart-healthy. Before we dive in, drop a comment. Which veggie are you secretly suspicious of? Let's see if it makes the list. This isn't about fear, it's about clarity. Because once you know what's quietly working against your health, you can choose what works for it. Let's start with the sweet little troublemaker that's hiding in your soup and hurting your metabolism. Number 4, corn. The sweet talker that breaks your metabolism's heart. Corn might look like a harmless, sunny little kernel of joy. It's on your plate at cookouts, floating in your soup, hiding in your casseroles, and pretending to be healthy in that veggie medley frozen bag you keep buying. But behind that golden glow, corn is often more sugar than substance, especially for seniors. At its core, pun intended, corn is a starchy vegetable with a high glycemic index, meaning it raises your blood sugar fast, and not just, oops, I ate a donut fast. We're talking faster than some breakfast cereals. It gives you a quick burst of energy, sure, but that's followed by an equally fast crash that leaves you tired, foggy, and craving more carbs. Sound familiar? Now, imagine that happening every day in small, seemingly innocent servings. Over time, that sugar roller coaster taxes your insulin system, tires your pancreas, and sets you up for insulin resistance, a key driver of type 2 diabetes, weight gain, and cardiovascular issues. When you eat corn, especially sweet corn, your body rapidly breaks it down into glucose. Because it lacks the fiber and healthy fats that slow digestion, the sugar enters your bloodstream like it's late for a job interview. Your pancreas kicks in with insulin to push the sugar into your cells for energy. But if you keep hitting your system with these sugar surges, your cells start ignoring the insulin. That's insulin resistance. And it's the first major red flag on the road to diabetes and heart disease. And here's where it gets sneakier. Corn isn't just on your plate. It's in cornmeal, popcorn, corn syrup, the villain of packaged foods. And yes, even in so-called healthy snack bars. A 2020 study published in Diabetes Care looked at older adults and found that those who regularly consumed high glycemic vegetables, like corn, had a 46% higher risk of developing insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome. Another study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition linked frequent high GI foods to elevated levels of inflammation, oxidative stress, and even cognitive decline in adults over 60. Translation: corn might be aging you from the inside out. You don't have to swear off all yellow vegetables, but you do need to pick smarter. Try cauliflower. Low glycemic, high fiber, super versatile, mashed, roasted, riced. Zucchini, gentle on blood sugar, great sautéed or spiralized into zoodles. Butternut squash, slightly sweet, but balanced with fiber and nutrients. Broccoli, an anti-inflammatory powerhouse in disguise. The key is choosing veggies that digest slower, give you longer-lasting energy, and don't demand a sugar detox afterward. And if you're still craving that sweet corn taste, try roasting a few kernels sparingly with chili powder and lime. Make it a flavor accent, not a main event. Wait, popcorn too? Sadly, yes. Most microwaved popcorn is drenched in hydrogenated oils and fake butter flavorings that your heart wants no part of. If you're going to indulge, air pop it, skip the salt, and treat it like what it is, a treat, not a fiber supplement. Corn is kind of like that charming neighbor who's always smiling but never tells you they backed into your mailbox. It seems innocent until you see the damage. It doesn't mean you can never enjoy corn again, but it does mean you should rethink how often it shows up in your meals, especially after 60, when blood sugar control becomes mission critical. So if you've been spooning corn into every soup, side, and skillet, it might be time to hit pause. Because up next, we've got another sneaky vegetable that's cozy, familiar, and quietly sabotaging your heart health from the inside out. Number 3. White potatoes. Comfort food with a hidden cost. Ah, the potato. The MVP of mashed, the king of casseroles, the reason French fries have a fan club. For many of us, white potatoes are the ultimate comfort food, hearty, familiar, and warm. But when you're over 60, your heart might not be as comforted as your taste buds. Here's the truth. White potatoes are one of the most blood sugar spiking foods seniors eat on a regular basis. They're starchy, high on the glycemic index, and often paired with ingredients that multiply their negative effects. Think butter, cheese, bacon bits, sour cream, or a hot oil bath at the bottom of a deep fryer. They may be inexpensive and satisfying, but over time, they can be a slow-acting metabolic wrecking ball. Let's break it down. White potatoes are basically fast-acting carbs with a side of nostalgia. The starches in them quickly convert into glucose, causing a rapid spike in blood sugar levels. That forces your body to release a surge of insulin. And just like with corn, if that sugar-insulin dance happens too often, your body becomes resistant to it. A one-way ticket to insulin resistance, fatigue, and type 2 diabetes. And it gets worse when they're fried. High-heat cooking, fries and chips, produces acrylamides, toxic compounds linked to inflammation, and even cancer risk. So now, we're stacking high blood pressure, joint pain, and cardiovascular strain on top of each other. To top it off, most people don't eat the skin, which is the only part with any decent fiber. Without it, potatoes are like carbs in a tuxedo, all dressed up with nowhere nutritional to go. A large 2016 study published in the BMJ followed more than 70,000 adults and found that those who consumed 4 or more servings of potatoes per week had a 33% increased risk of developing high blood pressure. Another study in nutrients found that diets high in starchy, high glycemic foods like white potatoes are associated with increased inflammation markers, especially among older adults. And here's the kicker. These risks multiply when potatoes are fried, which is unfortunately the most common way they're consumed in American diets. Don't worry, you don't have to cancel potatoes forever, but you do have to get smarter about your choices. Try these swaps. Sweet potatoes, lower on the glycemic index, rich in beta-carotene, and more fiber. Cauliflower mash, creamy, satisfying, and won't send your blood sugar into orbit. Roasted root veggies, like turnips or parsnips, which have a similar texture but a lower carb impact. And if you must have your white potatoes once in a while, eat them boiled and chilled. Cooling them creates resistant starch, which digests more slowly. Always eat the skin. That's where the fiber lives. Avoid frying. Instead, roast them with olive oil and rosemary for flavor without the fry-up. Let's be honest. French fries are delicious, but they're also deep-fried glycemic grenades soaked in salt and inflammatory oils. If you're thinking, but they come with my senior discount combo, then it's time to have a heart-to-heart with your actual heart. Try baked sweet potato wedges instead. Toss them in avocado oil, dust with paprika and sea salt, and roast until crisp. Your arteries will throw you a thank you party. White potatoes may be the soft blanket of the vegetable world, but they're not so soft on your blood vessels, your pancreas, or your energy levels. They spike, crash, and repeat. And when that becomes a pattern, it lays the foundation for everything from fatigue to heart disease. If you're feeling sluggish after meals or struggling with weight gain after 60, your potato habit might be a silent contributor. So go ahead. Wave goodbye, at least temporarily, to the loaded spuds. Because next, We're digging into a vegetable that's purple, beautiful, and oddly problematic. Number 2, eggplant, the beautiful vegetable that might be betraying your body. Let's get one thing straight. Eggplant is a looker. That glossy purple skin, that elegant shape, it's the supermodel of the produce aisle. But for many seniors, eggplant is a classic case of pretty on the outside, problematic on the inside. Despite its popularity in Mediterranean dishes and veggie lasagnas, eggplant contains a few hidden compounds that can stir up trouble for people over 60, especially those with arthritis, joint stiffness, or digestive sensitivities. It's not toxic, but it can quietly make you feel worse, without you realizing what's causing it. Eggplant belongs to the nightshade family, along with tomatoes, bell peppers, and white potatoes. This group of veggies naturally produces alkaloids, including solanine and nasonin, which are part of their plant defense system. In sensitive individuals, especially older adults, alkaloids can cause or worsen inflammation in the joints and digestive tract. If you've ever felt extra stiff or sore after a hearty helping of eggplant parm, you're not imagining it. Eggplant is also relatively high in oxalates, compounds that can contribute to kidney stones, especially in people with reduced kidney function. And guess what happens to kidney function as we age? Yep, it usually declines. So while a younger person may handle a grilled eggplant salad just fine, seniors with inflammation, gout, kidney issues, or sensitive stomachs may find that eggplant adds fuel to the fire. A 2021 review in Frontiers in Pharmacology looked at the impact of alkaloids on inflammatory markers. Researchers noted that compounds like solanine may increase oxidative stress and interfere with nerve signaling, which could exacerbate pain or sensitivity, particularly in people with existing joint conditions. Additionally, a 2019 study in the Annals of Neurology linked high oxalate vegetable intake to increased kidney stone risk in older adults with impaired kidney function. Eggplant wasn't the only culprit, but it was on the list. None of this means eggplant is bad in a general sense. But if you're over 60 and dealing with inflammation, it's worth taking a closer look at how your body responds to it. Eggplant can still be on the menu, in moderation, if you prepare it the right way. Here's how to reduce the risks. Peel the skin. Most of the alkaloids are concentrated there. Salt it and drain. Sprinkle salt on sliced eggplant and let it rest for 30 minutes. This draws out moisture and some of the bitter compounds. Cook it thoroughly. Undercooked eggplant can be harder to digest. Roasting, baking, or grilling it fully can make a big difference. Use small portions. Treat eggplant as a side dish or flavor component, not the main course. Also, avoid frying it heavily. Eggplant soaks up oil like a sponge, which can turn a healthy-looking veggie into a greasy, pro-inflammatory trap. Eggplant is one of those foods that looks healthy, tastes decent, especially when drowned in cheese, and hides its baggage well. But under that smooth purple skin lies a cocktail of compounds that could be quietly making your joints ache, your stomach churn, or your kidneys work overtime. If you already struggle with inflammation, arthritis, or kidney stones, eggplant might not be your friend. Now, if you love it and it doesn't bother you, great, you're one of the lucky ones. But if you've been feeling off after eating it, now you know why. Because next, we're turning up the heat, literally, with the #1 most dangerous vegetable for seniors. It's acidic, it's common, and it's probably sitting in your pantry right now. Number 1, canned tomatoes, the silent saboteur hiding in your pantry. Let's set the record straight. Tomatoes themselves aren't the villain here. Fresh, ripe tomatoes, loaded with lycopene, vitamin C, and antioxidants that do wonders for your heart and skin. But when those tomatoes get sealed into a metal can, things get dicey, especially if you're over 60. That can of tomato soup, pasta sauce, or stewed tomatoes might seem convenient and harmless. But what's leaching into your food could quietly be messing with your hormones, your heart, and your blood pressure. And the worst part, most people have no idea it's happening. Most canned foods are lined with a substance called BPA, bisphenol A. a synthetic chemical used to prevent rust and extend shelf life. But BPA is also an endocrine disruptor, meaning it can mimic or block hormones in your body, including estrogen and testosterone. As we age, our natural hormone levels decline. The last thing we need is a chemical throwing that balance even further out of whack. Now here's where tomatoes make it worse. They're acidic. And acid breaks down the BPA lining in cans much faster than other foods, causing it to seep directly into your sauce, soup, or salsa. So while you're thinking, hey, I'm eating veggies, your body is absorbing chemical residue that's been linked to hormonal imbalances, weight gain and fatigue, irregular heart rhythms, even increased risk of breast and prostate issues. A 2020 study in environmental research found that adults with the highest levels of BPA in their blood had a 91% greater risk of heart disease than those with the lowest. Other studies have connected BPA exposure to increased risk of obesity, mood swings, memory loss, and high blood pressure. All things that seniors are already at increased risk for. And it's not just BPA. Sodium is another problem with canned tomato products. Just 1 cup of canned tomato sauce can have over 500 milligrams of sodium, nearly a quarter of your daily limit. Combine that with other salty foods, and your blood pressure can climb faster than you think. You don't have to give up tomato flavor. You just need to be smarter about the source. Here's how to upgrade your tomatoes. Choose glass-jarred sauces labeled BPA-free. Read the fine print. Some still sneak it in. Use fresh tomatoes, roast them with garlic and olive oil for amazing flavor and zero chemical residue. If you must use canned, rinse them well to remove excess sodium and cook them with potassium-rich ingredients like spinach or sweet potatoes to help balance the salt. And one pro tip, if a can is dented, bulging, or more than a year old, toss it. No tomato is worth a toxin cocktail. Canned tomatoes are the classic example of something that looks helpful on the surface. They're cheap, easy, and convenient. But for older adults, convenience sometimes comes at a cost. Hidden BPA, excessive sodium, and silent hormone disruption, that's a price your body doesn't need to pay. Especially when safer, tastier options are just as accessible. So next time you're reaching into the pantry, take a second look. Your heart, hormones, and kidneys will thank you for it. And speaking of thanks, you've now made it through our countdown of the 4 vegetables you should avoid after 60. But don't worry, it's not all bad news. Up next, we flip the script with the 4 powerhouse vegetables that can actually help you fight aging, boost brain power, and protect your heart. You won't want to miss this. Number 4, purple cabbage, the humble hero that works from the inside out. Purple cabbage doesn't exactly scream superfood. It's not trendy. It doesn't show up in green juice bars. And let's be honest, you've probably walked past it in the grocery store thinking, what would I even do with that? But here's the secret. This under-the-radar veggie might be one of the most affordable, powerful, and accessible anti-inflammatory foods for seniors, especially if you're dealing with joint stiffness, digestive issues, or high blood pressure. Don't let the color fool you. Purple cabbage packs a punch where it counts most, inside your body. What gives purple cabbage its vibrant hue is something called anthocyanins, natural plant pigments that act like antioxidants. Think of them as tiny firefighters that travel through your bloodstream, putting out the inflammation sparks that quietly age your joints, brain, and heart. Anthocyanins don't just make things look pretty, they help neutralize free radicals, those unstable molecules that damage cells and accelerate aging. These compounds also improve blood vessel flexibility, reduce oxidative stress, and support immune balance by nurturing your gut flora. And after 60, your body needs all the anti-inflammatory help it can get. A 2020 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that seniors who ate anthocyanin-rich vegetables like purple cabbage had a 24% lower risk of heart disease compared to those who didn't. Other research suggests that anthocyanins may improve memory, reduce arthritis symptoms, and support gut health by feeding the beneficial bacteria in your intestines. a crucial factor in aging well. And that's the beauty of purple cabbage. It doesn't just target one system. It's working across multiple fronts: heart, brain, gut, and joints. Purple cabbage is incredibly versatile and affordable. Here's how to make the most of it. Raw. Slice thinly and toss into salads with olive oil, apple cider vinegar, and a little sea salt. This combo enhances nutrient absorption and gives a satisfying crunch. Lightly sautéed. Heat gently with garlic and olive oil to preserve anthocyanins while improving digestibility. Coleslaw remix. Skip the sugar-laden slaw dressing. Use Greek yogurt, lemon, and herbs for a refreshing twist. Quick ferment. Want a gut boost? Try making your own purple sauerkraut. It's easier than you think and rich in natural probiotics. Pro tip: avoid overcooking it. Long heat breaks down anthocyanins and dulls both the color and the health benefits. As we age, inflammation becomes the root cause behind so many chronic issues: arthritis, heart disease, cognitive decline, even fatigue. Purple cabbage fights inflammation quietly but effectively, meal after meal. It's like hiring a microscopic cleanup crew for your insides and paying them in cabbage. Plus, it stores well, stays fresh for weeks, and costs less than your daily coffee. How many superfoods can say that? Purple cabbage may not be flashy, but it's dependable. It's the kind of food that doesn't shout. It shows up. For your joints, your gut, your immune system, your aging cells. So next time you pass it in the produce aisle, don't overlook it. Pick it up, chop it up. Let it work quietly behind the scenes. Because up next, we're diving into a veggie that's slippery, slimy, and surprisingly good for your blood sugar. The cream okaza, an odd-looking green pod that some folks avoid just because it's, well, a little slimy. But if you're over 60 and dealing with energy crashes, blood sugar swings, or brain fog, okra might just be the underrated hero you didn't know you needed. Behind its gooey texture lies a powerhouse of blood sugar balancing, gut soothing, and brain protecting nutrients that work overtime, even while you're at rest. In short, this veggie may not win any beauty contests, but it deserves a spot on your plate. The key to okra's power is its mucilage, that gel-like substance that turns some people off, but actually does something amazing inside your body. Mucilage is a form of soluble fiber that slows down the absorption of sugar in your gut. Instead of letting sugar flood your bloodstream and spike your insulin, okra applies the brakes, giving your body more time to process glucose without overload. That's huge for seniors, because as we age, insulin sensitivity drops, making it harder to regulate blood sugar. Okra helps you stay on track naturally. No pills, no prescriptions, just plants. But that's not all. Okra is also rich in quercetin, flavonoids, and vitamin K, compounds that reduce oxidative stress in the brain and support cognitive function, blood clotting, and bone strength. So while it's helping your pancreas, it's also helping your memory and your hips, multitasking at its finest. A 2021 study published in Food Science and Nutrition found that participants who ate okra daily for 8 weeks experienced a 20% drop in fasting blood sugar, results typically expected from medication. Other research highlights okra's antioxidant activity in protecting brain cells from age-related decline. That's especially important if you're noticing more "where did I put my keys" moments than usual. And let's not forget folate. Okra provides a healthy dose of this B vitamin, which supports red blood cell formation, improves energy metabolism, and helps fight off anemia, a common energy drainer in older adults. Yes, the texture throws people off, but a few simple prep tricks can make okra downright enjoyable. Roast it, slice into chunks, toss with olive oil, salt, and garlic powder, and roast at 425 degrees Fahrenheit until crispy. The slime disappears. Soak before cooking. Let it sit in vinegar for 30 minutes before using. This cuts the goo significantly. Add to soups and stews. Okra acts as a natural thickener. It blends in and boosts texture without overpowering. Steam lightly. Don't overcook it. A gentle steam or quick sauté preserves its nutrients and keeps the texture mild. Once you know how to handle it, okra can go from never again to what else can I put this in? Maintaining stable blood sugar isn't just about preventing diabetes. It's about protecting your energy, your mood, your brain, and your circulation. Okra tackles all of that and more in one humble green package. No drama, no trendiness, just quiet, consistent support for the systems that matter most as we age. So if you've been skipping past okra at the store, maybe it's time to give this little pod a second chance. It's earned it. And now that your blood sugar's under control, let's talk about blood flow. Because coming up next is a root vegetable that helps open your arteries, boost brain performance, and lower blood pressure naturally. C2, beetroot, the root that opens your arteries and recharges your brain. Beetroot might look like a vegetable your grandmother pickled and forgot about, but inside this earthy root lies one of the most powerful heart and brain-boosting tools nature has to offer, especially for adults over 60. If you're dealing with high blood pressure, fatigue, or mental fog, this crimson-colored root could be your natural remedy. Beetroot isn't just healthy, it's strategic. It knows where to go, and it does the job quietly but effectively. Beets are rich in natural compounds called nitrates, and that's where the magic begins. When you eat beetroot, your body converts these nitrates into nitric oxide, a molecule that helps relax and widen blood vessels. This makes it easier for your heart to pump blood, improve circulation, and reduces the strain on your arteries. Better blood flow means more oxygen delivered to your muscles, organs, and, perhaps most importantly, your brain. That translates to sharper thinking, better memory, and more energy during your day. Think of nitric oxide as WD-40 for your arteries. Things just move better. A 2019 clinical study published in Hypertension Research found that seniors who drank beetroot juice daily for just 4 weeks experienced an 11-point drop in systolic blood pressure, comparable to the effects of some medications. Meanwhile, a 2017 study in the Journals of Gerontology observed increased blood flow to the frontal lobe of the brain, the part responsible for decision-making and memory, in older adults who consumed beetroot before exercising. In short, better circulation equals better brain health, and beetroot delivers on both. Not a fan of that earthy taste? Don't worry, there are ways to tame the beet. Roast them, slice, drizzle with olive oil, and bake until tender. This brings out their natural sweetness and softens the texture. Blend into smoothies. Combine cooked beet with apple, ginger, and lemon for a vibrant, refreshing drink that doesn't taste like dirt. Try beet hummus. Add roasted beet to your favorite hummus recipe. It's colorful, delicious, and loaded with antioxidants. Use pre-cooked beets. Many stores now sell vacuum-sealed or steamed beets ready to slice and eat. No peeling, no mess. One tip: avoid canned beets soaked in sugary syrups. Go for fresh, roasted, or refrigerated options to keep the benefits clean and real. Beyond the nitrates, beets also deliver folate for red blood cell production and cardiovascular support, manganese, which helps with bone health and energy metabolism, betalains, powerful antioxidants that fight inflammation at the cellular level. So while beets are helping your heart pump smoother and your brain stay sharper, they're also helping your joints feel better and your energy stay steady. Not bad for a root that stains everything it touches. Beetroot is the kind of food that doesn't just feed you, it supports the systems that support you. Your heart, your mind, your muscles, they all rely on good circulation, and beets have your back. They're not just a side dish, they're a strategy. So if you're tired of feeling tired or foggy, adding beetroot a few times a week could make a real difference. No side effects, no prescriptions, no pink pills, just pink veggies. And now that we've got your arteries flowing and your brain buzzing, it's time to introduce the #1 vegetable for seniors. The one that does it all, from bones and blood pressure to memory and eye health. 1. Kale, the all-in-one super leaf for brain, bones, and blood pressure. You've probably heard kale being called a superfood. And for once, the hype is actually justified. Kale isn't just a trendy green that health influencers throw into smoothies. It's a nutrient-dense powerhouse that targets multiple aging concerns at once: memory decline, brittle bones, high blood pressure, and even vision issues. If you could only add one vegetable to your daily routine after 60, kale might just be it. Let's start with the brain. Kale is rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, two carotenoids that protect your eyes and help slow age-related cognitive decline. These antioxidants accumulate in the retina and the brain, shielding cells from oxidative stress and inflammation. Then there's vitamin K1, and kale is practically bursting with it. 1 cup gives you over 600% of your daily requirement. Vitamin K is essential for bone mineralization and blood clotting, and it plays a surprising role in keeping calcium out of your arteries and in your bones, exactly where it belongs. Add in a healthy dose of magnesium and potassium, and you've got a natural formula for lowering blood pressure, improving muscle function, and supporting a regular heartbeat. It's like nature stuffed a multivitamin into a leafy green. A 2020 study in neurology found that older adults who consumed high amounts of lutein and zeaxanthin, especially from dark leafy greens like kale, had 32% slower cognitive decline than those who ate the least. Meanwhile, research in the Journal of Human Hypertension highlighted the blood pressure-lowering effects of diets rich in potassium and magnesium, both abundant in kale. And vitamin K, a meta-analysis in Osteoporosis International, showed that higher K1 intake is linked to fewer fractures and better bone density in postmenopausal women and older adults. So yes, the science fully supports what kale's been quietly doing all along. Let's be real. Raw kale can be tough, chewy, bitter, not exactly crave-worthy, but when you prepare it right, it transforms beautifully. Sauté it, cook in olive oil with garlic for 3 to 5 minutes. It softens the texture and boosts nutrient absorption. Massage it. Yep, give it a rub. Add lemon juice and olive oil, then massage the leaves to break down the fibers. Makes it great for salads. Bake it. Tear into bite-sized pieces. Drizzle with olive oil, sprinkle sea salt, and bake low and slow for homemade kale chips. Blend it. Toss a handful into smoothies with banana and frozen berries. The taste disappears, but the benefits stay. And always remember, don't eat huge amounts of raw kale daily, especially if you have thyroid concerns. Light cooking reduces compounds that could interfere with thyroid function. Kale checks all the boxes. Protects your brain, strengthens your bones, supports your heart, keeps inflammation down, aids digestion, boosts eye health, and unlike some supplements or trendy powders, your body knows exactly what to do with it. It's affordable, accessible, and incredibly efficient. Honestly, kale is less of a vegetable and more of a nutritional insurance policy. In a world of flashy health fads, kale stands quietly in the produce aisle, dependable, nutrient-rich, and ready to support your body from head to toe. If there's one vegetable you commit to eating regularly after 60, let it be this one. Your heart, bones, brain, and even your eyesight will thank you for it. And now that we've covered the 4 best veggies for healthy aging, it's time to bring everything full circle. The power is on your plate. So, what did we learn today? Some veggies, like corn, white potatoes, eggplant, and canned tomatoes, may seem harmless, even comforting. But for aging bodies, they can quietly disrupt blood sugar, trigger inflammation, or interfere with hormone balance. On the flip side, purple cabbage, okra, beetroot, and kale offer real protection for your heart, brain, bones, and beyond. After 60, every bite counts. And when you choose the right foods, you're not just eating, you're investing in energy, independence, and longevity. So here's your gentle challenge for the week. Swap just one troublemaker veggie for a healing one. Start small, stay consistent, and watch what happens when your plate becomes your partner in healthy aging. If this video opened your eyes or gave you even one idea worth trying, stay close to Healthy Aging Vault, because we're just getting started. Your best years don't live in the past. They live in your next meal and your next wise decision.